Hi everyone! Welcome back, and as you can see, special set na naman tayo because we have some questions that require some answers na actually sinagot na ng isang dermatologist and professional. But this time, I want it to be from a fellow informed consumer. So, as you guys can see, kasama ko ngayon si Bella.
Hi everyone!
So for those who don't know, friends talaga kami ni Bella in real life. Tayong tatlo ni Roz. So ayun, Roz, nasaan ka na? Diba? Ano na?
Papunta na daw siya dito.
Correct. Papunta na raw siya dito, diba? So as you guys know, nagpo-post ako ng mga videos about my hair loss journey because I do have yung male pattern hair loss. Today, we're going to be discussing from the perspective of someone who has had a different type of hair loss naman. May parang medyo halong hair fall yung kay Miss B. And then yung sa akin naman is hair loss from a male perspective. Kasi iba din siya, di ba? Parang gusto rin namin i-share sa inyo how we kind of like found our way. Di ba?
Yes.
Okay, so Bella, I want to know. Kasi actually, nakita ko na yung hair loss content mo on TikTok. How did your journey start? Sa hair loss or hair fall? And could you also clarify to us kung ano ba yung specific na pinagdadaanan mo?
So, actually, genetically kasi, sa lahi namin, thick talaga yung hair namin on my mom's side. So, na-inherit ko yun. So, as a kid, I always had really thick hair and I never had to worry about, any sort of hair fall. But when I was in college, that's when I noticed na every time na may stressful event, like, let's say, thesis, di ba? Or like, bumagsak ako sa isang subject. Parang soon after, I would notice na I would get hair fall that's outside the normal. Pero I didn't do anything about it back then kasi syempre, I thought it would just go back to normal, which it did. And so, I went into the workforce. Wow! Tapos, syempre, that's continuous stress na. So, I noticed that parang even though it was like mild or moderate hair fall na medyo extreme, hindi bumabalik to the past thickness yung hair ko. So that is especially true nung pandemic. And so that led to like, parang napansin ko na when I tied my hair with a ponytail, hindi na siya ganun ka-thick.
You would say na parang gradually siya nangyari?
Yes,
or parang,
gradual, yes.
Okay. So like over time, na-notice mo na, oh my God, lagi na itong nangyayari, so magko-consult
yes.
na ako.
And syempre like during the pandemic, those kinds of issues are really magnified.
Yes.
That's the time when we're nasa bahay lang tayo and we tend to notice those things about ourselves more.
Ano yung moment in time na yun na parang na-realize mo na okay, may kailangan na talaga akong gawin about this?
It was actually in the shower. And I think a lot of girls can relate to this. Kasi when you see your hair fall in the shower, syempre hindi mo iiwan sa drain, di ba?
Correct.
You'll pick it up and then you'll gather it sa wall. But that time talaga, in the shower, I really remember, was like alarm bells were ringing. I was like, parang ang dami nito. Tapos, when I checked the mirror, parang it was thinning na. So, for me, it was like a combination of both. Dito, where I usually part my hair, parang nag-widen siya. But the most noticeable was here. Here talaga. Na parang weird, no? And I was like, isn't that like something that happens sa males?
Yes. Ganun yung nangyari sa akin. Like, medyo umaangat siya.
Yeah, but then I also have people in my comments saying, nangyari rin yun sa akin, and they're girls, na dito din. At that time, when I didn't know better, akala ko it was because of my shampoo. So, akala ko na the shampoo was causing the hair loss. So, nagpalit ako ng shampoo.
Nakailang palit ka?
Secret. Kasi nakakaya, secret.
Sobrang dami, Mini.
But the thing is, kahit na nagpalit ako, it would still persist. So, I knew that something was going on na deeper that I didn't know. So, that's when I needed medical advice talaga.
But at that point, kasi diba usually, magko-consult tayo sa dermas when we have sort of like exhausted or parang talagang lahat na try na natin. Like, okay, yung scalp serum, scalp tonic, mga keme-keme ganyan. Diba? Ang daming iba't ibang products in the market before ka mag-consult sa derm. Ano na yung mga na-exhaust mong mga products na na-try mo?
The first thing I really did was talk to my derm talaga.
Ah, wow.
Kasi at that time, I didn't wanna second guess na. I had a feeling may kutob talaga ako that this is something deeper. And I didn't end up just consulting one doctor. Actually, consulted two. Pero years apart.
Years apart.
So
like
that's how
many?
long this journey is. With my first derm, hindi kami nagpa-blood test. But with my functional medicine doctor, nagpa-blood test kami. And dun namin nakita na may underlying nutritional deficiency that could have been contributing to the hair loss. That was what really scared me kasi I was like, so we don't know how long this nutritional deficiency has been going on. Baka it's been years. And even if I just take a supplement, if that supplement is not holistic enough, if it doesn't cover the specific nutritional deficiency na meron ako, it might not work. And so that's what happened sa akin. But after I went to my functional medicine doctor and nakita ko na I'm super deficient in the essential nutrients for hair growth, which are vitamin D and zinc. As in, sobrang babate. As in, nakakaloka.
That's so interesting kasi ang vitamin D3 and zinc are supposed to be in our alam mo yung parang everyday vitamins na nire-recommend pala nila na
And I was taking daily multivitamin. Pero even then,
kulang.
Mababa pa rin. Because there's something wrong with my body na hindi niya na-metabolize. So that's when I really had to up my dose. Syempre, under the guidance of my doctor. Actually, hindi hair loss ngayon kinonsult ko sa kanya. It was my hormones. So see, if I never went to him, I would never know, what's the cause?
Ano yung difference of having your hair loss checked with a derm and with a functional medicine na doctor?
So with my derm kasi, what I described to her was more of my experience. I think her approach was, okay, let's try what's clinically proven.
Yung first line.
First line of defense. So she gave me 5% Minoxidil na topical. And then she also gave me an anti-hair loss shampoo, which was caffeine. And then she also gave me a specific hair loss supplement na it has pumpkin seed oil, selenium, and other select nutrients to support hair growth. Pero the thing was, hindi ako nagpa-reconsult sa kanya.
So, follow up.
There was shame in it for me na hindi ako naging consistent. I chose to believe in the wrong assumption na it just didn't work for me. Kaya hindi ko tinuloy. On the functional medicine doctor's side naman, it's part of his protocol kasi na lahat ng patients niya who go to him for hormonal imbalance, like PCOS, mga ganyan, he always has them do the blood test first. So it's very comprehensive. So you get a complete picture of not just your blood health, but also your liver, your thyroid, everything. So versus I guess it's the difference in scope. So pag hair loss, okay, let's try these therapies muna and see if they work for you. And the other one is wide scope naman, looking at the big picture.
When you went to your derm and when I went to my derm, may similarities. The Minoxidil was the first line. What I find interesting also is yung mga supplementary na binigay sa atin. Sa akin, ang binigay niya was ketoconazole. Apparently, it works as a supplement for hair density daw. So parang
And also, nakaka-reduce siya ng inflammation sa scalp.
I find that super interesting na derms give us first-line treatments first, kaya nga first line, and then iba-iba na yung approaches nila when it comes to supplementary products. Which is very important for people to remember na don't get caught up doon sa supplements.
Focus on the science-based ones first.
But I see in your content now na tinuloy mo yung 5% Minoxidil. How did that come to be? So bakit mo na siya tinuloy and what is your journey doon sa pagtuloy mo ng 5% Minoxidil?
I already knew in the back of my mind na it was like a stone that I left unturned. Kasi at that point, I was like, okay, let's look at what the science says. Upon reading yung mga systematic review, you can see na Minoxidil is really the proven one. I knew vitamins alone would not solve the problem as well as it could be solved.
Kaya ka bumalik loob sa derm.
Yes. I guess that's my approach talaga is throw the pots and the pans and the kitchen sink.
Throw the kitchen sink.
Yes.
Oo. Si Miss B kasi, na-notice kong ugali niya sa skincare and hair care, medyo may pagka-maximalist siya.
Yes.
Versus me who is a minimalist. And I think it goes for a lot of men and women din eh. I mean, of course, we cannot generalize everyone, but maraming mga men gusto nila yung parang kind of plug and play. Yung short routine lang that they can kind of be consistent in. So how about procedures? Meron bang sinuggest sa'yo yung derm mo na procedures? Because yung derm ko, she said, some options that you have if you want to try accelerating yung hair growth mo. PRP, or platelet-rich plasma na injections, or also yung exosomes. Medyo may na-market sila for skin, but they also have significant benefits sa hair, di ba? So if you want to watch more about that, see Doc Cheska, yung sa video namin. She shares more about that from a technical point of view para alam niyo kung bet niyo siya or hindi. But mostly for me, yung mga nirecommend, PRP, exosomes, and yung hair transplant, which is very mahal, di ba? I am considering either PRP or exosomes, hair transplant maybe somewhere down the line, but it's not a priority. How about sa journey mo, Miss B?
Actually, when I recently visited my derm, I didn't have any more issues with my hair. Kasi it's been almost a year since I've been doing my maximalist routine and nakikita ko na yung benefits, yung results.
If tingnan niyo closely, guys, hindi ko alam kung maano ng camera, pero yung baby hair ni Miss B, kasi colored yung hair niya eh.
Yes.
Pero may nakita kong yung baby hair niya, yung natural hair color niya. So you know that that's the hair that grew, di ba?
Yeah. Going back to the therapies, it's working for me so far, what I've been doing. So I haven't really felt the need to explore further procedures yet. But my derm did say that she does do microneedling. I have considered, pero parang natatakot ako na...
Painless daw eh. Well, ako yung nagbenta sa kanya ng ano. Pero painless daw. Yung alam mo yung
Talaga?
parang ano, yung gumagano-ganon siya.
I don't know if you guys watch the TV show Severance kasi. Pero like, kasi, di ba, tinutusok yung ulo. Like, ayoko!
May fear of needles ka?
Ish. Pero I wanna try to see how far I can take it with my current routine. Tapos if I'm still not happy with it, let's say like, another 6 months from now, that's when I'll go for a treatment. Kasi I also do publish my journey online. So I wanna tell people na, okay, for like a year, I just did my home care routine. So ako kasi, diretso sa solution.
Oo, diretso ka. Which is so good. Alam mo, honestly, Miss B, sobrang kudos to you. Kasi sobrang Latina mo. Charina! Sobrang Latina! Sobrang, informed na consumer na parang ako kasi, like, nung hair loss ko, it took a while for me to actually go to a dermatologist. Ang galing na nag-consult ka na agad sa derm. Sana all. I think a lot of us who've experienced hair fall, hair loss, whether babae ka man or lalaki, if we could have visited earlier, we would have saved more hair.
Yes,
diba?
Exactly. So it's a race against the clock talaga, diba?
Ano yung mga treatments na hindi nag-work for you?
It's not so much of a treatment, more as something that I tried on my own. So first was yung mga hair gummies. Hair gummies did not work. And ang mahal nung mga yun diba? Because nga, it didn't solve the underlying nutritional deficiency that I had. And then another thing that's, didn't work for me was the other supplement recommended by my derm. Because I looked at the ingredients again. And yes, it does have like mga micronutrients. It has pumpkin seed oil. But the thing is, hindi siya also enough. So that's why you can't just blindly take a supplement and hope that it will work. It has to fit your specific nutrient profile, what's actually going on beneath the surface para it will work for you. Plus another thing that's actually very popular on TikTok, scalp oiling.
Scalp oiling.
That's all over TikTok. Lalo na, if you search like hair growth, they put scalp oils directly on their scalp and they leave it on for a few hours. Pero ate, sobrang hassle. Tapos ang hirap niyang i-wash off. And I would not recommend if you have dandruff. Because oil is what the dandruff feeds on. So parang binibigyan mo lang siya ng more nutrients to proliferate. So parang, especially if you have seborrheic dermatitis, there are lots of derms who caution against that. Plus, it's not clinically proven for hair growth. We differ to the science.
From a perspective of someone who's had male pattern hair loss, a lot of supplements, I would say, didn't work for me. I do try collagen supplements, but hindi ko sila tinatry because I want a certain result. Tinatry ko sila kasi masarap sila. Di ba? Aminin natin. I don't think that they're also practical.
Hindi.
Kasi nga mahal sila. O, even yung mga makikita natin na mura per sachet, pag ginawa mo silang isang pack, mahal. Di ba?
And to think recurring cost yun.
I think we've gone to that part na nga talaga where we will ask Miss B her hair loss or home care treatment for her hair loss and or hair fall. So, meron ka bang daytime and nighttime?
Yes, meron.
Okay, so let's start with your daytime. Ano bang ginagawa mo sa daytime?
Huwag kayo magulat guys marami talaga. Okay. The first thing that I do when I wake up is I take my hair loss supplement with a glass of protein shake. It's called Nutrafol.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Because it's clinically tested and proven for women. But yeah, I take that because it also has a lot of vitamin D in it. So that's the reason why it matches with my specific case kasi vitamin D deficient ako, plus it has zinc in. It's supposed to help target a stress-induced and nutrition deficiency-induced shedding. So once a week, I use a ketoconazole shampoo. Because that helps with inflammation. And I also have dandruff. So dandruff is something that I really have to manage. Or else, kakamot ako.
Okay.
It's itchy, so that could indirectly lead to hair loss. So I do use that. I also spray, right after I get out of the shower and I towel dry my hair, I spray the Minoxidil. 5% Minoxidil. So I prefer spraying it on before I dry my hair kasi medyo oily siya. So I find na spraying it and then blow drying is better kasi there's no like residue na naiiwan sa hair ko. And I also do use other scalp serum. It's just for supplementary, lang talaga, to nourish the scalp, to supply nutrients to support the follicle. But it's not directly for hair growth. The Minoxidil talaga is for the hair growth.
Hindi ka ba natatakot na pag spray mo, matatamaan yung ibang area?
I spray it super close.
Para doon lang talaga.
Hindi siya kumalat masyado. Kasi baka malagyan sa forehead ko.
Oo nga eh. Baka dumagdag yung eyebrows mo.
Ate, ang thick na ng eyebrows ko. Ayokong dagdagan. So, night routine, around once a week, I do a little bit of microneedling. Pero syempre, I studied it pa.
Okay.
So, there's a certain depth of needle na hindi mo dapat gamitin kasi it could lead to scarring. Tsaka kailangan gentle pressure lang talaga. And of course, kailangan sinasanitize mo with 70% alcohol. So I'm not recommending it to everybody kasi if you're in doubt, the best thing to do is punta ka sa derm. It helps the absorption lang ng mga serum. So preferably, gagawin mo siya on a freshly washed scalp to lessen the chance of infection.
And then what do you put after?
Minoxidil ulit.
So para
dito lang.
absorb.
Yes. I also do red light therapy after I spray the minoxidil.
Okay.
I do that every other day. So I know that it's siguro very underhyped siya as a therapy kasi syempre it's not as well studied as minoxidil. Pero promising pa rin siya kasi it can help reduce inflammation ng scalp kasi red light is can help with that. Plus, it can also help extend the anagen phase ng hair. So that's at least according to the studies. So I use it as a supplementary method na lang.
Just to share with you my own routine
Yes.
for breakfast. For breakfast, I have hair loss medications. As in,
Yummy.
yes, literal. As in, minsan I leave the house, I just take my medications. Tapos minsan magsasama na ako ng cetirizine. Kasi may allergies ako. Oral finasteride, oral minoxidil, cetirizine. Pero yun nga, yun yung first thing na tinatake ko talaga para di ko na makalimutan. So I just take any kind of zinc perithione na shampoo during the daytime.
Right.
And then same tayo, ketoconazole at any part of my shower routine. Like minsan ginagawa ko siya sa gabi, minsan ginagawa ko siya sa umaga, basta MWF.
Depende kung anong gym day.
Yes, depende kung anong gym day or kung wala akong gym that day, sa gabi. At night, literally nothing. Kung makalimutan ko, doon ko iti-take yung oral finasteride and minoxidil ko. So parang it's so nice to also see a different kind of routine, but it doesn't necessarily mean na
There's a better routine. It just works for you, di ba?
at the end of the day, it's really what will work for you. And na
Your
tinatake-
level of commitment.
yes, level of commitment, and that you're taking the first line. So with your day-to-day routine, Miss B, how long did it take before you actually saw results?
I started all of the therapies mga last year, July. That was at the point where my hair loss siguro was at its worst. Naisip ko, okay, we have to be a woman in STEM about this. So what would a woman in STEM do to document her hair loss? Syempre, before picture. So
Yes.
either side of my temple, pinicturean ko talaga. And even in the shower, after I was done showering, sobrang obsessed. Pero bilang ko talaga per strand yung buhok na lalagas in the shower. Tapos I would take a picture of the hairball that would result from all the hair fall. And I did that for like 3 months. Syempre, within the first 3 months of doing it, nothing masyado nangyari. Pero as time went on, parang now that I look back on it, almost like 8 months after I started, sobrang mas onte na talaga. Like, it's like my average hair fall in the shower now is like mga 30 to 60 strands,
Wow.
or even less sometimes.
So after those 8 months na nakita mo yung results, parang yes, okay, it's working. How did it help with your own like life in general?
Sa self-confidence. Kasi it's not just like the hair that's growing back. It's also the density of the hair that feels and looks different. When I go to my hairdresser, they comment, ang dami ng tumutubo. Diba? You'll feel good about yourself. Wow, self-actualization.
Yes.
But it's good and it's self-affirming that you're doing something right. So it gives you confidence. Your self-investment was not a waste. So it helps to make you feel more confident. But also hair, lalo na for us girls, it's a big part of our self-image. Hair means a lot to a lot of people. So when your hair is healthier, it really does add a lot to your confidence, diba? So there's a palpable difference talaga na. I was so conscious of doing this dati, but now I can do it without a problem kasi may buhok na ulit. I'm sure a lot of girlies out there can relate na they're just, little things that you notice that you don't mind as much anymore.
I feel like the same goes with men. Na parang, actually even more pa nga with men. Kasi diba, hati-hati pa yon na parang kunyari mag-open up ka, acceptance na lang. Diba, parang, ganyan talaga, like that's part of being a man. Alam mo yan, parang, di ba, parang kakalbo ka talaga, tanggapin mo na lang, just grow a beard or something. Na parang, sa totoo lang, it's also, like, it's taboo in a way na ganon, na parang people acknowledge that there's hair loss. It's just that sometimes people don't know how to deal with it,
Yes.
di ba? Yung sa akin naman, di ba, especially dito din sa temples,
Yes.
like, I would feel so insecure. Kasi dati yung hairstyle ko, di ba, pa ganon.
Yes.
Tapos parang ako, I would think na, oh my God, do I look old na? Ganon. Tapos when I had like, yung hairstyle na ganito and also thicker hair na and yung hair loss medications, parang I felt youthful in a way. Wow!
I love it.
As pareho na kami ni Miss B in our 30s.
30s.
Yes! As a kaka-30. Love
Happy
it.
birthday.
Happy birthday. But actually, Miss B, I wanted to touch on something also that I feel like is not talked about enough. And I feel like both of us did. Yung pag-ayos ng hairstyle. If there's any person who is knowledgeable about how your hair loss is progressing, it's your stylist/barber. Kasi nakikita nila regularly eh.
Yes.
Diba?
Sa view na we never see.
So for me, actually, sobrang naging critical yun eh. I had to change into a hairstyle that kind of like flatters yung hairline ko in general. And that also helped me, not just with my hair loss journey, but also boost my confidence. Kasi parang, wow, it frames my face better. It's more flattering. So for you, styling-wise, how did it complement yung hair loss or hair fall journey mo?
So for girls, kasi I think that's a more major factor. Kasi we always heat style our hair, nagpapakulot tayo, we tie our hair. I mean, not to generalize, there are guys with long hair too. So this is applicable sa inyo din. But I became aware of traction alopecia, which is like mechanical tension on the strand when you always tie your hair up in a very tight bun or ponytail. So I opted out of those kinds of hairstyles and I do yung mga low braid na lang or like very loose bun. I always make sure that there's no tension on the roots because that's also something that can lead to hair fall or hair loss. Well, I started with bangs in the beginning of last year, but then I grew them because I wanted to stop hiding behind the bangs. Kasi once you have the system, the routine in place, parang mas kampante ka na. Okay, it's working, I'm doing something, so I don't have to hide it anymore. So, pinahabo ko siya.
In your hair loss or hair care journey, what do you wish that you'd known sooner?
One of the things that I wish I had done was I had researched kung ano ba talaga yung ginagawa ng bawat therapy na binigay sa akin ng derm ko. Na, oh, this is what Minoxidil is for. It's clinically proven to actually regrow the hair. I would have actually stuck to it more. Kasi ako yung type of person na the more I know about something, the more it motivates me to keep it up. And another thing that I wish, so I actually wish that I had consulted my derm sooner. Rather than, trying gummies, trying things that didn't work. Nasayang lang talaga yung pera. And I think that should be like the knee-jerk reaction sana for most people na. When you notice a problem with your hair fall, your first instinct should be, okay, I need to go to the derm.
Alam ko marami kang pinagdaanan because your hair loss was not all at once. It was gradual throughout your life. Anong advice yung mabibigay mo if anyone's watching here who might be experiencing hair loss through any of the stages na na-experience mo?
I think the common experience kasi is they think that one treatment will solve the problem. Or like, if one treatment works, wala na. Tatanggapin na lang nila na, I'm just losing hair and there's nothing I can do about it. There is something you can do, but you have to approach it from multiple aspects kasi. So, getting down to the root of the problem is important. So, you do that with your derm. You can even be proactive and ask them, do I need a blood test? You already have the mindset that it could be more than one thing that's causing the problem. And the other thing is always root yourself in the science. Because there's so much noise, so much misinformation about hair growth, about hair loss, hair fall. Always have like a critical thinking mindset. Second guess what you see. Even if it's us, diba? Second guess us, diba? And do your personal research and consult an expert. Always consider it from different views and use, the scientific evidence as your most important basis, diba, for determining the truth, diba, the facts. Because the facts are not debatable. It's okay to be a maximalist, especially if you can accommodate it with your time and your budget. You don't have to be ashamed. Kasi there are people online who shame you for being extra. Ang dami mo namang ginagawa. It's part of your self-image. It's part of your self-confidence. So if it were me, I would do anything that I can to invest in myself, right? So there's nothing wrong with that.
I love it. 3-point pa yung advice ni Miss B, and I guess that would be super helpful. Lalo na ang dami din talagang women who are experiencing hair loss. Now, for male pattern hair loss, course, you already know my channel to watch my content and my experience about it if you want to know more. For female pattern hair loss, if you want to follow someone's journey, again, nandito si Bella for that. She very openly talks about her journey sa hair loss and hair fall, what she does about it, dun ko nga nalaman. So you can follow her socials for that. She's also on TikTok, she's also on Instagram, and also now YouTube Shorts, diba? Where can we find you?
At Bella Mad. That's my socials everywhere.
And if you want more hair loss content like this, maglalagay na lang kami ng videos here. Imamagic namin yung Miss B. So yeah, as usual guys, we will see you in the next video. Bye!